Uh, Howdy, friends and neighbors. This is your old pal M.L. Monteslian. How many people know that reference?
Probably none.
uh,
E-bomb, huh?
oh, yeah, it's hard to tell. I just did $161 postage today for my MindLab 5000. I'm sending it over to Incognito, and he's got me a used MindLab Gold Monster 1000 that supposedly already showed up at my post office, but it wasn't there this morning. And then he's also going to send me a MindLab Excalibur, which is a fully submersible um, detector. And so that's the evil plan.
Audio and video check, people.
Yep. Um, the price was fairly high for a couple of reasons. Number one, I mean, it just weighed 23 pounds, and I put it in a bow case, a compound bow case. It was big enough that all the components could fit, and then you could close it up. And then you have the size, the weight, the fact that it has batteries, and the $4,000 of insurance, which costs like an additional $90. But I figured if anything happens to it, I want to be happy instead of upset. But really soon, we should have a gold monster and an Excalibur in hand.
Hi, everybody.
And so we'll be able to do some detecting this year. See, I got a message. This Pandan.
Yeah, I came in a little early today, Brian.
Yeah, it looks in pretty good shape, Dan. Let's see. Does anyone need a laboratory sieve vibrator with a set of about 10 sieves?
Me?
Well, he says he's thinking about $500 new. About $500.
Very God.
Sorry about this, folks.
Yeah, if anybody needs a vibratory sieve. Very cool.
Yeah, so you can take all of your um, things on it, stack your sieves and vibrate them all at once. Um, Assuming that the situation goes well in Nicaragua, we might very well get the boys to get that. It could come in real handy. Anyhow, let's see. So again, looks like we got a nice trade deal on some metal detectors, which is cool.
Want me to go to the board now?
Yeah, go ahead. And I'm gonna go over this in a little bit. That's something that the boys wanted in Nicaragua. A quick sketch. This is an exhaust hood. That's pretty simple. I still haven't got the results from the hydrogen peroxide digestion test. Last week I spent a couple days in Butte with Lauren, and we were doing some dismantling in some old mine buildings there. The company he's working for is not planning on reopening the hoist buildings or anything like that. but they're good for storage. So you wind up tearing stuff out, and then you still have to fill in holes in the floor where this or that or the other used to be. You're gonna have to compact earth, bring it up, and then pour a slab and things like that. So I was helping him do some stuff a couple days ago, um, in order to uh, facilitate things, because now that things are really getting to be, above the radar screens and stuff, he he needs workman's comp and all that other stuff. So what I did was I just went and signed up for the local like day labor place, and and um but anyhow, so I said there was a lot of work to do, and he needed a little help on some stuff. So by signing up at the day labor, he can just go down to the day labor and rent me, and they handle all the paperwork and the workman's comp and all that other stuff. And so now I'm pretty much free to help him on a part-time basis whenever he needs on that. So that's kind of cool. I like doing stuff. I like working. Uh, at the end of the video tonight, we don't forget. We're going to try and see if we can actually call up a video on the computer and show it on the live stream. We'll wait till the end, so if something goes horribly awry, we'll just shut her down. Okay?
Yeah, being shot up in a fireworks shell after cremation, really, I will say that. See, when I get cremated, I want my ashes split and cast into two incredibly ugly lamps, because I'm going to be worth like $1 gazillion by then, and my boys are going to be told if they want to have access to their trust funds, they're going to have to proudly display the incredibly ugly lamps in their houses and use them.
Because she's mean. And I also put up a video earlier today showing some of the miscellaneous stuff I've been doing, but also it's got a good little section on the Blick when you're doing fire assaying or micro smelting or whatever. That's the glow that the bead gives off when it solidifies. In a normal fire assay, the Blick happens is once the lead smelts out of the bead, then the melting temperature goes up, and then the bead has to solidify. It's already glowing. It has to give up energy in order to solidify so it glows. Okay?
No, and it's not revenge. If I wanted revenge, I'd have my ashes made into jewelry and make their wives wear it. That would be revenge. This is just my wicked sense of humor.
Yep. So, anyhow, if you ever want to see what a Blick is or show someone else, that's a good video at the end there. What we have here, the boys down there wanted an idea of how to make a decent exhaust to it. Apparently the internet has these little plastic zippered exhaust hoods that go over a metal frame. It says for like dot matrix printing, so I'm guessing either plastic or metal printing has fumes that are kind of unpleasant or dangerous, and so they've got some kind of a little, but it's like this, it's only a couple feet across.
Yeah, you're not getting green.
I just don't know. So they're only a couple feet across. On the other hand, and they were, I think, about $80. Okay, with a little electronics fan. you know. So this, on the other hand, is a much larger exhaust hood. That's real simple to build. First, you frame it with like 2x4s, real simple. Then you do 3 sides and the top with plywood. The bottom you just set on a table. Now the table, you want to make sure it's not going to be destroyed by the chemicals. So you want a good, Formica top or something like that. You could use, if it was a solid plastic tabletop, like an 8-foot table, that would work under most conditions.
A used fridge would be kind of cool.
And then for the access, have 2 pieces of plexiglass and just have a couple of screws up there with holes of plexiglass so you can hang it, and the suction will hold it against there on the 3
You could
sides.
technically make one out of an aquarium.
Yeah, you'd need a big aquarium.
Like the one that Monty's in.
No, that's too small.
Okay.
This one here would be like 8 foot by 3 foot by 4 foot.
Yeah.
So you can make this basically any size, whatever you need. And then put some kind of a blower up top there or in the back. You want it kind of centered so it'll suck either way. And when you're working on it, you can take one of the sheets off, leave the other one there. You can get a half-size sheet if you want and hang it on whichever side you're working, so you can put your hands under it.
Plastic trays, yeah. Plastic.
And then when you're done working, you hang the big panel up again. So something like this, you could probably make the equivalent of a 3 by 8 foot exhaust hood for a couple $100 minus the fan and whatever kind of electrical outlet stuff you want, plus whatever paint you put in it. Now they make a paint, it's really expensive. Okay. It's designed to go on the walls behind the tile in a bathroom. And red some, I don't know. It's in the the tile department or whatever. It's pink originally. You paint it on and it goes on. It's almost like cold cream in its texture. Then when it dries out, it puts this red coating on it. It's really thick and it's really waterproof. Okay. And how would I dissolve borax glass? Hydrofluoric acid? I have no desire to attack borax glass.
I have no idea. I can tell you that the typical glass that I get, so to speak, my slag that's made of borax and soda ash, you leave it sitting in water long enough, it'll melt.
Borax glass is Pyrex.
Yeah, but borax glass, yeah. Like you said, it's Pyrex. I don't think you can dissolve it.
Yeah, you can hydrofluoric acid. But yeah, you're going to have to get pretty ridiculous. Always have plenty of outlets. You can basically almost never have too many outlets and put them up above the bottom. You don't want any spills to make their way to an outlet. Make sure you have good lighting in there. And that's basically all you need. Bondo body filler works real well for filling gaps and things like that. It also works pretty good in any kind of a nasty exposed to the weather environment. If you're filling wood or something like that, it's some really good stuff. But paint the inside so that the chemicals won't affect it. They've got epoxy paints. They got all kinds of stuff. So anyhow, that's basically a fairly simple exhaust hood. And down there, they're going to be putting a furnace in one side and the stripping circuit in the other. So, and that would be pretty hard to do with...
You're going to boil it in sulfuric.
Borax glass shouldn't. I mean, borax glass is Pyrex.
Borosilicate, not
Borosilicate glass is
it shouldn't
Pyrex.
do anything to sulfuric
Yeah,
acid.
it shouldn't.
They might
the
etch it
effect.
a little bit. I mean,
I
you
don't
can
think
etch
so.
Pyrex hard.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think you're in. Why do you want to dissolve it? What's the purpose, Brian? I mean, why in the world would you want to dissolve borosilicate glass? Well, the guys down in Nicaragua are going to have a situation. I just sent them a letter today to warn them about this. They to make money over the last month or so while they've been gone. They have been using the old arrastras down there. People have been, and so it's grinding an amalgamation, and then they want to take the tailings from the arrastras and go ahead and
He thinks this gold powder is floating in slag and did not precipitate. Well, if that's the case, you want to melt your slag with a collector metal.
yeah, I'll say it.
And some reducing.
You don't necessarily need to dissolve it, but you need to melt it maybe. If it's slag, I just go ahead and borosilicate glass is not slag. Slag is less tough in many ways in general. So, anyhow, I had to warn them. Okay, if you're going to reprocess that, they say they got about 10 tons down there. Okay, if they're going to send that over the mill, number one, don't put it in the ball mill. Feed it directly onto the tables, because any mercury that's in it when it gets in that ball mill is really going to make the ball mill a better gold trap. Okay. The stuff on the tables, okay, you make the gold concentrate line, you've got the sulfides below the gold line, you've got tailings.
Yeah, the collector metal needs to come up on it. When I'm doing my smelts, my collector metal that I put in is always at least times the amount of charge. Usually it's close.
Well, the other thing is we're using litharge, not a metallic collector metal. We're not like putting in lead shot or anything like that. We're actually, because the litharge distributes itself through the charge very, very well. Okay. And so anyhow, all of these products are going to be theoretically contaminated with mercury to some extent or another. The gold concentrates, those are going to go straight to smelting. Yeah, I can see a potential hazard here with mercury. You're going to want to be very cautious not to get anyone exposed to mercury vapors there.
Yeah, they don't have a decent retort.
No, well, in this case, you wouldn't be using a retort anyhow, but basically you're going to have to make sure it's a nice breezy day, nobody downwind, fire, put your charge in the furnace and let it go and don't get close to it until it's all done. Okay. The other thing is the below gold line concentrates, those are going to be leached theoretically. Now, this poses a different but also very serious possibility. If you're leaching these products, you may have soluble mercury compounds. Okay?
Yeah.
These are not good for the environment, and many of them can go right through your skin. So you're going to want to be very, very careful, wear rubber gloves at all times, and that bleach solution doesn't get reused for any other stuff. Just put it away and either dispose of it safely later or use it to only leach similar type products. Same with the stripping solution. That stuff is just another way of making soluble mercury compound. I don't know what may be there, but all I know is any soluble mercury compound is generally really, really bad. And you don't get second chances with mercury.
I bet those touch butter.
Yeah, that's another thing Brian, you could always just finally crush the slag and just leach it, you know, whether it be aqua regia or whatever. How much gold is in the slag? You know, were you doing concentrates where you got quite a bit of gold? And if so, maybe you need to consider getting it better concentrated the next time.
Yeah, mercury is a great cause.
Yeah, it's not good to eat, put on your skin, breathe. No contact with mercury compounds is a good thing.
I don't know what to tell you about that, Brian, because we're looking at the whiteboard right now, so.
They'll have the startup screen now. Go ahead and click it to me. Done with that for the moment.
No.
Okay. How does that look, Brian? But anyhow,
Not thought of.
yeah. I say you can leach it out of there. Depending upon always start small. You know, 1 to 10 grams is a good starting point when you're doing something totally new. Yeah, because the slag, you've got borax in that slag, don't you? That and soda ash, those are soluble to certain extents. You know, I say it's not borax glass. It's a different thing. So you can also just try fine crushing and seeing if it'll
Yeah,
dissolve.
great idea, and we'll do something.
Yeah. So you could crush it fine, leach it in water, decant, and then try and leach it in like Eco Goldex. I mean, this little bead right here, this was made from all the resin testing I was doing, stripping testing and stuff like that. And that's 5 grams of gold, but it's really clean gold.
Hi, Jeff. Jeff Bybee's here.
Hi, Jeff. And so all this was electrolytic debris from the stripping circuit that was then digested in nitric acid. So this is pretty clean stuff, you know. Yeah. So that's what I'd suggest. I say, but again, small little batches, little beaker.
The price of silver as of right now, hold on, I will have that for a second. I've got it up on my phone. Silver at the moment is $83.95, so it's gone up about 40 cents started. Gold is $4,839.
And that probably brings us to the big subject of today, and that's metal markets.
Yeah, the metal markets have gone nuts.
I'll let Eva.
In case anybody missed it, on Friday when the markets were going absolutely crazy and melting down, a bank went belly up. Don't know which one yet. I'm going to run down a thing, but it's larger than a small one, and it's smaller than a medium one, and apparently the feds had to bail them out. So, yeah, there was another bank has become too big to fail, apparently.
Hey, Jeff.
Funny how that happens.
Brian, I don't think there's any copper in that. I digested the debris in nitric acid. That'll eat up the copper real thoroughly.
No, he's got some crud stuck on something.
Oh, in your stuff. Okay.
But yeah. So, remember last week I told everybody that this whole silver and gold price thing was going to be like a giant roller coaster? We'd probably start seeing a lot of volatility and really big swings. We're going to see a lot of volatility and really big swings. Because these guys are using this to take out the weak hands, get people selling off so that more physical comes on the market. And as they divest themselves of their various paper silver scams, I'm expecting we're going to see the paper silver mutual funds begin to evaporate into thin air, taking their paper with them. Because that's the only way these guys can dig themselves out of this hole. The way this hole is going is not good for banks, which is fine with me. And apparently, the current administration announced sometime in the middle of all this foo-for-off that they're putting billions of dollars, billions with a B, into stockpiling and getting access to critical metals, critical minerals.
Told you.
And silver is now a critical mineral, which it always should have been, but, everybody forgets that part.
No, I mean, I told you last week they were working on.
James West says
Making us
wear
independent.
PPE when handling dangerous chemicals. Yeah, we always do.
Yeah,
Or at least I always do.
it depends on how dangerous as to what PPE too. But
But yeah, at any rate, the metals markets are going to be increasingly volatile. This is the time when you should buy the dip and take advantage of any dips you can. Don't sell. If you do anything with your precious metals at this point, you should use them to buy other hard assets like land.
yeah,
I know a few people who did manage to use their silver to get land before the market melted down temporarily. So
yeah, they'll probably be doing okay in the near future.
yeah,
Again, roller coaster.
it is pretty much the chaos process, Mr. Virtue. What's going to happen now is the powers that be that run the metal markets are going to be working as hard as they can to gather the physical to them. And they're going to be trying to take out scammers and make the paper go away. Because at some point, they could be held accountable for their crimes in this direction. Then they might actually not get just fines the way they usually just get fines.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could pick up some land right now too, honey bunny. I really do.
Yeah. We may be working on that in the near future here. We shall see what we shall see. But I mean, one thing that perked Eva up, you notice you can hear by her voice she's feeling better, and she called me up when I was in Butte. She said, silver's just crashing right now. It's down to 80 some dollars. She goes, I want to just scrounge up all the spare cash in the house and go down to the store. And I said, do it.
Yeah, this was the first bank failure of the year. I'm going to look into it. It's some Western something or other, Western Financial or something like that. But it's the first bank failure of the year, and the year is very, very young right now. So we shall see what we shall saw.
Yeah. No, I personally have a good feeling about silver in the near to intermediate future. So in the long run, they'll just get more mines and stuff like that.
I don't ever sell my silver, so.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't buy silver for me today, huh? Our local coin shop, when I went in on Friday and did my emergency buy, they were sweating bullets, and they were talking about closing down for the weekend and not opening until Monday or Tuesday because they were taking such a bath on the prices. And at the time, they were at 8 over spot. And when I got home and I went online and checked places like, SD Bullion and Money Metals, etc., they were all at spot plus 14, spot plus 18, and selling out like crazy anyway. It was ridiculous.
By selling out, you mean they were selling stuff to people?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And so I agreed with you on that. I mean, I was shocked to see it drop that far, but I don't expect it to stay down there. So it's
no, it's not going to stay down there.
So she said
it's going to take a while to fight back, but it won't stay there.
And she stayed here while I was in Butte. She took care of herself, no problem. Getting stronger. and her stomach is getting more able to keep stuff down well. Last 2 days she's had a couple of grilled cheese sandwiches and stuff, so she's definitely doing better, and it's continuing to get better. So that's real good. Okay, Brian. But yeah, the silver thing's been kind of interesting. We shall see. I'm going to try something else here, just out of jolly. Oh, hush up. Hush out of my computer there. Here's the iPad. On. And should be able to uh, not sure what that is. No, yes, I'm not sure. How do I make this go bigger? Yeah.
Yeah. You'd be doing it that way.
I would think so. I'm trying to find how to increase the size of this. I know there's a way. I'm not sure. That's
No, I don't.
well, the thing is, there we go. Let's see if we can do this here.
I'm showing.
This kind of gives you an idea of the. This is where they dug down and exposed the old workings. Look at how tall this high wall is as he goes up. He kind of scans up. This is what they've been doing over the last month is getting access to there. Those supposedly had pretty good ore in them. They're pretty far down on the ore body compared to where they were, so they probably have more sulfides too. So that's going to be interesting. Actually, that seems to work pretty well. You know? So, anyhow, that kind of gives you an idea how big a hole they're in. It's 150 feet up, 200 feet to the top. Some god awful thing.
Oh.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, I don't know how to play this. Okay. Here's something that you might find interesting. Sound.
It sounds like
So this is where runoff comes.
Hi, Red Wing.
A pipe here that peanut butter.
there's the shovel, the dozer.
Mainly guys with real shovels and
Use this to
demolition
recycle
hammers underground.
the system. Fantastic. Each of these are Blick. It's got done running. There's our excavator processing line.
That's the tables.
So
Solar says, was asking Red to tell us about the mill.
So all material from
The screen, not a filter. There's a distribution to the tables.
Down. And this is the good stuff. One of the rates.
Yeah.
This is just
Can you hear him while he's narrating this or not? I can't tell.
Make it to tables.
It's actually a 100 mesh trauma screen.
Plastic is everything comes out of the boxes.
Yeah, that's a wiper.
Physically the table. Okay. Or floating off the table. Things like force it to touch the table. Force it to come down the
Broken
tables
up and choppy?
and come
Okay.
across the tables.
I'll go ahead and try and narrate more myself. Anyhow, now we're up top. That's a spiral classifier, but they use it mainly just as a conveyor.
Norman did that spiral.
And it's just to get the oversize back up to the top of the mill. They got a 100 mesh trommel screen at the end of the ball mill that they use to actually
And then
segregate.
it goes back to the ground. And generator.
Red Wing uses a ball mill.
This is
Okay. There's the ball mill.
all the stuff run through.
Back to the ball mill.
Everything is a proper mesh, goes straight to the table, gravity fed, and then the generator runs this processing.
That's primary and
So
secondary
this
crushing
is
up
the
there.
powder bin. After the raw ore has been crushed. So all the ore comes into this one.
Yeah,
It gets crushed.
you're not going to be able to make out his words.
Or about 5 inches less
Hello.
from the rock side.
I don't know how much
It's
it
crushed.
uses, Mr. Virtue.
But who where?
Mr. Virtue's asking somebody how much electricity this uses.
Ooh, good question. I don't know. Looking to see where's the stop button.
So it comes in powder bin.
Okay.
Yeah, they can't even understand.
Okay. That's why I was in. Okay.
Yeah, that they have a pretty big ball mill down there, Red Wing.
I think it's supposedly rated at 2 tons an hour. Its actual capacity is less than that. All the equipment you see sold, if you see a capacity, it's always optimal. You know, this particular mill here runs 1.5 tons an hour. They get about 10 tons a day on about a 16-hour shift, I believe. We're usually rating it in terms of tons per day. They want to go about 10 tons per day, and if they can get good recovery of good ore at 10 tons per day, they make plenty of money because labor is really cheap down there. But that kind of gives you an idea what it is. We're going to see, again, at the end of the video, the live stream tonight, we're going to see about switching over and if we can show some stuff that's already on the computer in terms of video. Eva has done that with pictures, and I don't see any reason why it wouldn't do it with a video too, but we may lose the stream, so we're going to wait and do that last. Okay? And so that's our deal. That thing there is running 1 to 2,000 pounds an hour. And as I say, with good grade ore, if you're running half an ounce to the ton, that'll make money if you can feed it cheaply. And again, with a bunch of third world labor, you can do that with demolition hammers and sacking it and stuff like that. Up here, you'd have to be using equipment to get that kind of capacity. I mean, 1 or 2 tons an hour. Yeah, good luck doing that by hand. You can shovel that much by hand, but it has to already be broken and pretty easy to shovel. So that would be really, really tough to do. Hello, Chris. How's it going? So, I say, the mill itself theoretically doesn't take a whole lot of hands to run, but because labor is so cheap, they don't worry too much about automation because it's more expensive to automate than just pay somebody. I forget what it is. Was it $16 a day or something?
Something like that.
I think it was like $16 a day for miners.
Hi, Chris.
Pretty inexpensive. So, and that's another lesson that you need to know is you have to look and see what your costs are. Don't rely too much on what you might call industry standard costs, because those can be pretty hard to predict, and they don't necessarily apply at all. There's economies of scale, economies of capital expenditure and stuff. I mean, if you got a big mining company that's got 1 million tons of high grade in the particular thing, they can go underground and cut and fill mining it and do just fine. On the other hand, you would have a tough time doing that because it would take they're using jumbo drills. That means drills on a carriage with arms, so that they go out there and they just position the drills and drill holes. As a matter of fact, the modern jumbos, once you set it up, you pretty much just say go, and it'll drill like a 50-hole pattern with no human intervention. It just does it all automatically. But yeah, it don't come cheap. If you got enough to make that a reasonable investment, and you've got enough money to pay for that investment, it makes a different thing. What do you mean, Brian? What's going on? Are you seeing something? I mean, you should be seeing me sitting there in front of the whiteboard. Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
I'm not sure why
Brian?
the question. It's really annoying at times like this when you have these big delays. By the time my information gets to him and then his information gets to me, it's like a minute or more.
Oh, it's definitely been over. He
Yeah.
asked up above about how many pounds per hour will it cost.
Yeah. And I answered it.
I was on a preview channel. Oh,
Really? That's interesting.
I didn't know that was possible, Brian.
I had no clue. But anyhow, so does anyone have any subjects or anything to bring up before we try looking at different videos that I got on my computer? Because we have some interesting stuff. but we may very well discombobulate everything. So, I'd like to make sure nobody has any unanswered questions or whatever before we try it.
What am I?
Well, first we're going to wait to see if anyone has any unanswered questions. You need to go to those movies they sent me a while back, probably in downloads, but I'm not sure. Whatever ones you were getting with whatever methodology you were using, like Dropbox or whatever. I don't know either. Yeah, it shows up on there now. Now, I don't know.
I have.
Okay, we're going to give it a try here.
You guys are going to have to wait a minute and stare at nothing because I have something.
Going to try.
He's got some ridiculous ideas.
Well, because if we can do it, it'll be really nice forever and ever. Got anything from tables?
Oh.
None of those are videos? Try one. Let's see what we got. Doesn't look like a picture to me.
Hold on a second, guys.
Okay, she's working
Can
on
you
it.
see this?
Can everyone see that gold line there on the table?
The gold line on the table.
David,
Can we get an audio check here?
It
I have
just
a
takes
question.
forever. They can't hear us and answer.
Okay, so you could see that video.
Okay.
Okay. I wanted to know.
Did you hear the audio that was on that video while it was playing?
Yes. Everybody's saying.
Okay, try and get another video and see what happens here.
Okay, hold on a second, guys.
Yeah, I don't know why you closed that.
Don't bother me.
Yeah, I know. We're just trying to figure it out. Get the cat.
I'm looking for it. What?
Yeah. They're sucking up the gold line with a vacuum. As it goes over the edge of the table, it mixes quite a bit. So by doing it this way, they can clean it better.
Yep, it's a shaker table showing pretty gold. Okay. Now you know you can do it.
Okay. Let's see what else they got there. Maybe line itself. We're just trying this out and seeing.
Oh.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Here's the line, but that's not a
Help?
No.
Click on something. See what happens.
There they are pouring some gold.
Okay, everybody. What looks wrong about that pour? The professor is asking.
Professor can ask another time because I can't get your chat back up.
We'll see how it turns out.
So she's trying to get the chat back up. We'll see what happens. There it is.
We'll see how this one turns out.
I'm not sure, but notice how the surface of that slag is lumpy, and when he pours it, it's lumpy.
And there's no, you don't see a ball of metal drop out the way you do when I pour my slag.
Yeah. Well, in this case, you'd see a stream more than a ball because it's, well, yes, it's thick. It's not consistent.
Yeah, it's incomplete.
Yeah. It's just not
This
right.
is what happens when you give somebody a perfectly good slag recipe and they decide they want to tweak it in Chat GPT.
Yeah.
We all know GPT is
So anyhow, again, another reason why you always test small. Okay, see if you can find something. But this is the sort of thing they're able to send to us.
Yeah,
and
he
then we
didn't
can,
put nails in it, that's for sure.
and then we can look at it and get an idea as to what it is they're saying. Because it's hard to describe things, certainly, at certain times.
Check out all upside down.
Yeah, but why is it flat?
This is what it looks like on the surface.
Yeah. But that gold should be pyramid shaped, I would think. Okay. Anyhow.
There.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any chunks in that slag. You've either got the wrong formula, the wrong temperature, or something. Okay, so the videos seem to work okay.
Yeah, there was lots of things wrong with that pour, Brian.
Yeah. The temperature, the flux recipe, the fact that you might have had sulfides and you need to throw in some iron or whatever. So, I say by using this kind of communications, it allows them to give us a better idea what the situation is so we can give them better advice on how to improve it. But you can see on those tables the gold lines are pretty obvious at
Brian,
times.
I find I get a far better liquidity going on and a far better superfluidity going on when I keep my ratio of soda ash to borax pretty stable with a whole lot more soda ash than borax.
Almost a little over 2 to 1.
Yeah,
20
basically.
to 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stuff.
And yeah, there were contaminants because they weren't roasting.
Yeah, they weren't roasting it sufficiently. Yeah, they wanted to try. Well, can we just, instead of roasting it, can we just, flux it and smelt it? And it's like, well, that gets more complicated. If you roast it, you eliminate the complication.
I would.
Can't eat butter cookies?
They taste bad.
Okay. Do they have fluorspar? I don't know if they have any on hand or not. The samples that I've done,
Yeah, Brian, for my standard flux, what I use is for a 30-gram charge, meaning up to 30 grams. I'll use 12 grams of silica, 9 grams of borax, and 20 grams of soda ash, plus my collector metal. And my collector metal is at a minimum equal to my charge. It's usually twice my charge. Yeah, Chapman flux does have its uses, Chris. I just noticed it was very, very corrosive on my
yeah,
on my crucibles. I need to reuse my crucibles dozens of times.
it's a strong
And
oxidizing flux. If you've got the ratio just right with the sulfide, work okay.
Brian says we will talk soon about this. Yep.
Could you give me a video? There. Yep.
Getting there. You're on.
No. That has had, I don't know, about 24 charges through it. That same crucible. Hardly any erosion down there.
Yeah, not very much wear down there at all. You don't need the flashlight to try to show the mark. There's like no, basically, grade.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still fine. But she spent a lot of time
Well, you see,
testing.
that is another difference. Graphite crucibles act very different, and I personally I've only used graphite mold when I'm working with a pure metal. When I'm smelting, I'm using those fire clay crucibles because they're a lot cheaper.
Well, they work
And
fine for
I
most
don't
things.
like the oxidizing.
Yeah,
You
graphite
gotta watch
oxidizes.
out. You have to watch out with the graphite because they can oxidize on you and get holes in them.
Yeah, if you don't have a reducing environment in your kiln, your furnace, it's going to oxidize that
Ryan, let me put
carbon.
it this way. When we started this whole thing several years ago at Montana Bee, I got 1 case of crucibles to start with. I still have 5 or 6 of those crucibles left that we use because they are not broken and they did not wear out.
Yep.
I can keep a crucible going for years.
I say she did a lot of tweaking before she finally got and cement. Not sure, David.
What about cement?
Yeah, not sure what the question is. You can fill those with cement and make
You can fill them with cement and make a crucible.
a big giant crucible, but
There's no need to yet with this one. They're still in
you
perfect
wait
shape.
until they're getting bad erosion or something, and then you do that.
I have not made cement. The crucipels we use as a cupel. I have not yet used cement for any other purpose, but it works.
Yeah. I mean,
The way you do that is make your crucible out of almost dead crucible. Then after you smelt, you scoop out the cement that has absorbed lead.
cupel.
After you cupel, you scoop out the Portland cement. Yes, Portland cement for cupelling.
Yeah.
You scoop out the Portland cement that soaked up the lead, and you pack in a new shape.
Yeah. We found that if you just use an electric insulator, like from the top of a telephone pole, and you fill this with Portland cement, and then you just push that thing in there. Leave a nice hemispherical thing.
We moved up here in January
21.
21.
Yeah.
And our Tucson house was rented, so.
Yeah, we just
We
were
left
just
somebody
renting.
else living there, and we just came up here.
Yep. But anyhow, so she did a lot of work on that. While I was doing other stuff, she focused on the furnacing and the lab work because physiologically she could handle it easily and mentally it was real good. Plus, she's OCD, so she keeps really detailed records.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
not,
even
so I
want to see
don't.
the records he's been keeping.
Actually, they're not bad. Look behind you there.
Yeah.
You know. One thing you will get annoyed with is I don't weigh the buttons.
Yeah. So it's just
Why?
you need to weigh the buttons
Why?
because otherwise you don't know how much you can use in your neck. Whether you can feed bells, you don't know what's going on. You weigh everything.
Can I reuse the
Have you ever
Cupel?
heard the word Lavoisier? You weigh everything.
Only if
Always.
you have an unknown you're trying to look at. I have a known. I don't weigh my car every day either.
Jeff Ivey says, so was spring of 22 when he visited Arizona Prepper? Probably.
Probably, yeah. But no, that's the sort of thing where it doesn't hurt to write down all that stuff. But how many times have you gone back and compared all that data to each other?
Quite a few.
I've never seen it.
I backtracked quite a lot the first year when I was getting stuff together. If I had not been weighing everything, I would have been screwed.
And see, that's the thing. I'm using the same flux every single time. I will notice if I get a small beat. It should the button should be about 6 to 8 grams. The other day I was doing some. What was I doing? I think it was roasted sulfide. I don't know. I forget what it was, but it was something odd. I knew it was odd. I come out and the bead comes out ridiculously small. I mean the button. So I adjust, and I had to go to like 2.5 grams of carbon for your standard mix.
Yeah, that's really a lot.
Yeah. This furnace stuff. I'm trying to remember what it was,
Okay.
but it was something where all of a sudden it went totally out of whack. And then I did some checking. I actually re-smelted the slag. Yep. Here we go. Fire assayed as is 3. Okay, it took 14.5 grams of pulp, roasted at 700 degrees. Okay, so I was roasting sulfide concentrate, melted with regular facts, a 1.3 gram button. Again, I noticed it wasn't even close, and I weighed it. Okay, then I resmelted it with 2 grams of charcoal. The second button was 2.94 grams. Still light. Okay, so the next time I put 4 grams of charcoal in the smelt. Okay, I was actually fire assaying the actual concentrates, you know? And so that was the only time I've had a problem with the thing. You notice, see it, you can zoom in on it. Oh. But that's, it never hurts to keep much record, too much detail. But I say it doesn't do much good to keep much detail if you don't analyze that detail. So I try and not worry about it. She, on the other hand, worries about it, which is fine. when she's keeping the records, it'll be more detailed. Then I'll just ignore half the stuff that's in them if I have to analyze it. If it comes out weird, then I may already have the stuff. In this case, where I'm dealing with, I'm using about 100 grams per bottle roll because I can get 30 samples out of one sample, 30 aliquots. There's a fancy word for you. It means equal portions. But I can get a lot out of one. Now, I'm still just using the as is 2 for now because all my results are apples to apples. And then once I get everything dialed in the way I think it should be, then I'll go to as is 3 and see what happens there. Anyhow, I'll say that's it. But part of the key to these things is go with small samples till it's working right. Aliquot, like this. Aliquot. Okay. Basically, like if you had a liter of solution and you want to break that, you want to do 100 10 cc samples, you're taking it into 100 10 cc aliquots. Okay. Just a fancy name for equivalent sample. Okay. Of the same stuff. But anyhow, you can't have aliquots of different samples. That doesn't work. Anyone else got any questions or anything? Should be able to start doing some metal detecting. It's not going to work really well right now, little one. Any idea why?
No.
The freaking ground is frozen. I was up in Butte and it's like dink, dink.
Well, will it still hear things, or will it does it not?
Oh, it'll find them. How are you going to dig them?
Blowtorch?
Yeah, it gets pretty tedious. But anyhow, so we've got our claims not too far from here that have a really good chance of having some detectable gold on it. It's going to be interesting to find out once things melt a bit. How to dissolve borax glass is not slag. Okay. The term borax glass means Pyrex.
Yeah. Or if you're talking about your slag, Brian, your slag is actually soda ash slag.
Yeah.
It's soda glass.
It's not even a glass. It's a glassy substance.
Yeah. Well, technically, it's been used as glass in the past.
Not very well. Not very durable stuff.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
Mine's falling apart.
Yeah.
Speak.
It doesn't hang together too well.
Hi, Urban Prospecting.
Where are you from, Urban? I don't recall your name. Where do you generally hang out at? You're probably from one of them frozen places like Missouri or something now. Hi, wage slave. Yeah, we should have some metal detecting this summer. Sulfuric. Okay. What can you put in a glass beaker that will make the beaker dissolve? Almost nothing. When it comes to slag, I don't know.
When it
Take
comes
a little
to
bit
actual slag,
in a small beaker and test it.
when it comes to actual slag, is then made with borax, silica, and soda ash. Put it in a beaker of water and boil the water, and it will start to come apart. That's not borax glass. It's slag.
Yeah. 63 here today. Well.
Oh, Florida is where that person's from. Yes, it's vitriol.
Yeah, I agree, honey bunny. But yeah, as I say, if you use the word glass, people are going to get the wrong impression. But yeah, just take a little bit, put it in a beaker, put it on a hot plate, see what happens. You know, hydrofluoric will do it. Absolutely. It'll probably kill you too.
Yeah, hydrofluoric would be a remarkably bad idea.
Yeah.
On a long list of remarkable bad ideas.
Yeah, I say I would just go ahead. I'd start with water and see what happens. I'd try some sodium hydroxide solution, see what happens. I'd try sulfuric and hydrochloric because they're real easy, but watch out the hydrochloric because it's going to make some nasty fumes. I hate hydrochloric.
If it's just actual ordinary slag, so Brian, you should be able to just leave it in water for a while and it will get all like jelly.
Why don't you say the slag that they use at the big smelters? I don't know what it is, but it is some really, really tough, hard stuff. Sometimes when I pour a melt, the slag is vastly stronger than other times.
Yeah, it does that, and I have yet to figure out why.
Yeah. I don't know why it gets tough at times. But, I mean, sometimes you just can't hardly beat it apart. Other times it just smashes really easily. I don't know why.
Well, the the melting temperature have a lot to do with that.
No? I mean, it doesn't seem to be that. I'm not sure what it is. But sometimes as far as I can tell, it looks almost identical when I pour it. But, I mean, I've had some nice green. It tends to be dark green when this happens. And I just have to
when I get red ones, the ones with iron in them,
that's real tough.
They'll make for a tough slag.
Okay. Now the big smelter slag, they would haul that over from Arizona to San Diego to use to sandblast the bottoms of boats because it's really, really tough.
Same thing happens when he cooks brownie.
Do you have any questions about anything, Urban? It's fun to, people will throw out questions and it'll start a conversation here. One problem I have is that I have my things that I'm doing every week, and sometimes they're a lot more interesting and fun, and other times they're just get it done. You know? But let's say, right now I'm waiting on some solution assays before I start my next run of tests. What did I got listed on that sheet there? What test I need? On the bottom. Oh yeah, used Eco Gold X. I need to start running some tests where I'm reusing the Eco Gold X solution, so that you don't want to use something and then throw it away if you can reuse it, because it creates a waste stream and it wastes raw materials. So that's one of the things I need to test next. I have plenty of used solution that I can use, but that it's one of those things that I got to get onto that and verify all that stuff. I mean, those guys they're counting on me.
Says he mainly does electronic gold recycling. Yeah. Well, gold recycling is something and silver recycling is something that I want to do when I get back in the lab again.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, where we're at, I don't know of a good source. I mean, when we were visiting Ken, he had like a really good source of electronics.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I can find something.
Yeah. But I want to see what happens with that metal detector, because with our lives, stuff shows up when we need it. Like last summer, Dave, got us all that free assaying equipment and supplies, and we've been using it all winter. I have a
Now
feeling
we just have to hope a house shows up.
now that we get a couple of metal detectors showing up, it's like, well, I guess we're gonna be out there metal detecting this summer somewhere. We shall see. So, yeah, I say it's just one of those deals where I just got the feeling there's going to be some metal detecting this summer. We'll see how it all works out. That'd be hilarious if we go up there and that our claims wind up to be pretty good detecting property.
Well, supposedly there's silver there.
Yeah, it usually doesn't detect because you don't usually get native silver. Anyhow, anyone got anything else to talk about before we call it a night? Next week, well, the video testing worked out well tonight. Metal markets are going to be interesting to see what happens for the near future. And probably not going to be able to do too much video when I'm working for Lauren because of confidentiality stuff. Okay. Montana Bee?
Nope, probably not.
Yeah. Definitely not metal detecting. You're not going to find anything there.
No.
Maybe in that creek would be the only possibility.
We do have to get back there to at least claim.
Yeah.
Close it up.
Yeah. I'm not sure. We shall see.
Top of the hill is probably not going to be on the menu this summer either.
I think we're going to be working with Jeff Kablock probably. And that's going to be a totally new area. But he's got like 5 mines over there. So we shall have to see what happens. He's also got silver over on some of his mines too. Significant
Hopefully
amounts.
he gets down.
Yeah. So anyhow, well, that's about it. I guess we'll call it an evening for tonight. Eva's getting better, as you can see. So, well, you can't see, but you can hear. Have you ever dissolved gold using hydrochloric acid and manganese dioxide? No, I have not. I have never tried it.
Did we recoup the ladder when we let it go? No, the ladder's still in there.
No, we didn't. Yeah, it's solid in there. It's going to last many, many years. Yeah, I haven't done it. Urban, kind of keep track of the channel. Subscribe and keep track because I'm going to be doing a lot of research on a lot of different methodologies. Now, there was one that seemed to work real well. Honey Bunny sent me a link to it. It's iodine, potassium iodide, and iodine. It's fast and it recycles all the ingredients really. So look up potassium iodide and iodine dissolving of gold. Okay? Because it seemed to me he was dissolving like pins or something like this. He did all his dissolution in like 5 minutes. And then the process allows him to regenerate all his chemicals using a lot cheaper chemicals like potassium hydroxide or something. It's pretty simple stuff. So I'm really happy. Thank you, Honey Bunny. I appreciate that because that looks like a really good system for really concentrated stuff, or as in urban prospecting there, the electronic parts or whatever. But it
There's
looked really
even
interesting.
little tiny tabs inside vape. Get pressure.
Yeah, but you want to have enough to make it worth your while.
Yeah.
256,000 vapes to get an ounce wouldn't be very much, So that's the deal. Yeah, I'm intrigued about that too. I'll probably be testing it out as soon as I come up with a situation where it would be useful. The current sulfide cons seems unlikely. I don't think they're going to be rich enough. But something like that, if it had high enough grade, you could like roast the cons and then leach them in something like hydrochloric acid or something.
Iodine selective?
Reasonably. I'm not that familiar with it, but it really goes after gold. All the halogens do.
Yeah, can't you do things with bleach too? Gold?
Probably. I believe that.
I think it's called halide.
Yeah, halide leaching. Yeah, you got iodine, chlorine, bromine. Bromine likes gold too. Skyline Labs used to use a hydrobromic acid bromine leach for gold for their AA. The other thing too is if you get a gold halide, you can then extract that into methyl isobutyl ketone, and it'll go in there, and then that's a good. You can extract that into MIB. And how did they get that out of it?
I do not remember.
I think they just used it straight from the MIBK into the AA.
I don't.
I've got a thing in here on how to precipitate that out of a different organic solvent. I forget what the name of the solvent. Dibutyl carbitol. But it's the same thing. You dissolve it in, I think it was aqua regia, and then contact it with dibutyl carbitol, and then precipitate it from that. So there's possibilities there too. But the methyl isobutyl ketone is really selective for the gold halides.
They use sodium metabisulfite for something.
I don't recall.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, because I said, yeah, that's the same stuff that's in iron.
No. If you're using aqua regia directly, work. But let's see. Okay.
Gotta start training them up.
Silver recovered by chloride conversion, or gold. Finding gold by silver import. Factor. Version. All that. Amalgamation for dibutyl carbitol. Oh, that's really, really annoying. I cannot replace these. I'm pretty sure it wasn't a vote. Can't. Gold, not there. There. No. Hey, I don't know. I hate that when you have something, then it just disappears on you. No, no. It should be right here, and it's not right here. Have the folder. Really, really. I run into it somewhere.
Anyway.
Oh well. Alrighty.
Just talking to.
I guess we'll call it a night then. Hopefully I'll find it by next week.
Happy prospecting and keep it safe out there, folks.
She's doing something.
I'm just waiting to see if anybody says one more thing before I shut this.
Well, then say, any last comments or questions?
Okay, good night, everybody.
Hold on. Mr.
Damn it.
Virtue wants you click it.
Okay, go.
Okay. This is an exhaust hood, Mr. Virtue. 2x4 framing, plywood, top, 3 sides. Set it on a good countertop or plastic, formica covered table, whatever. Just hang a couple sheets of plexiglass from pins in the top there, like a couple of little arrow screws, and take one off, work in the exhaust hood, put it back on, take a half size sheet, hang it here, and your hands can work underneath with a half opening, so there's a really good draft going through there. Put a blower on the top, plenty of outlets available, and that way you've got a good thing. So everything else, nothing really terribly important.